Welcome guys, I'm Yusuf and I'm here today to talk about how digitalisation affects reading habits, how vital it is, and how there may be a possible chance where books will become uncommon. So, what is reading? Reading is a lifelong skill interacting and participating in consuming text from where there is writing. It is vital as it is a form of gaining knowledge and understanding. Many years ago, people had created scriptures to originally write historical records. But as time went by, the form and appearance of these scripts changed into books and were being used for different reasons, such as stories. People had access to the books, such as upper classes and middle classes. But because books were cheaper than the price of it now, more and more people demanded literacy and education for the public. This led to many more alterations and improvements for the printing press. From this, I could tell that people love books. New creations divert people's gaze to them, curiosity building up within themselves. For years, people loved books and reading, and they still do, but ever since the 1930s, where ebooks were called readies, their gaze diverted from physical copies to the reading apps on their device. This is due to the fact that ebooks have some cheaper prices. Some books that are not as popular as others would cost around $1.99 to $2.99, or even 99p. There are many differences between the features of physical copies and the ebooks. Watching the video, studies show that 68% of young readers who have devices for reading prefer those rather than the books itself. This is because you can choose what brightness level you want, the font, the background colour. You can take notes just by highlighting and bookmarking the page. It technically allows you to change the appearance to whichever pleases you. It also informs you of how many hours you have left till you finish the book, and it is much easier to carry as it creates more space in your bag. On the other hand, 66% prefer books as they are more aesthetically pleasing, feeling the wonderful textures of the pages as you flick through. Even though you cannot change the brightness level or font, you can still write on the book, highlighting and analysing it. A huge difference is that you don't need to charge books. It does not require any battery, and you don't need to worry about the power running out. What if your ebook starts malfunctioning and starts glitching? A book wouldn't do that. I personally think that books are more reliable in terms of source and usage. But that's just me. Furthermore, I also think that kids, teenagers and young adults are spending more and more time on social media. Social media can have a great impact on people, but it's also unreliable. People could possibly read false information and tell others, not knowing that it's not true. It is technically an example of the hypodermic needle theory, which is the hypothesis that people just consume the media text that is being conveyed. For example, individuals who are influencers and may have a large platform may have interest in reading and could post their ebook or opinions on the ebooks, spreading false facts about physical copies, and those who are subscribed to them or follow them would want to buy an ebook. This actually could be happening right now. It's a win for ebooks and a loss for hardbacks. Each individual's actions matter. Books are important as they contain years of information and data from the past, present and future. I personally think that the internet is not reliable. One day, our generation may just start focusing on devices and the internet, and it may crash down, and sooner or later, less books have been published. Where are we going to find the information? If we cannot access our devices, where can we find the way of living? In conclusion, the rest of the crew made their way to Cecil Court, an alleyway dedicated to bookstores and antique findings. In the next few seconds, I'm going to show you the interviewees and their given answers. Questioned by our interviewer, Lena, who will then hand it back to me.
James Tindley, I own it. The shop's been here for 40 years. We sell first editions of English literature. Books are one of the great pleasures of life. Reading is one of the great pleasures. I'm not wholly in favour of people going to libraries unless it's for research. because I like people who buy books. They are important because they have all the knowledge of the world inside them. There is no downfall because they're not becoming less popular. There are more books published now than ever before.
Reading's like a really important thing. I think it develops your knowledge of words and your creativity, your imagination. I think it like broadens your whole world. I think you can dive into different places, travel through books. I think ebooks are a good way of accessing a lot more books that you can probably get from a physical store. And I think you can travel with your ebooks. You can read them when, you know, your partner's gone to bed and you want, like, all the lights are out, but you can still continue to read your books. You can take them on holiday. You can travel with a lot more. But I do love like flipping through the pages of an actual book. And experiencing like the feel and touch of them. I do think books are important. I think it gives you perspective on other people's experiences, other people's worldviews. It can take you outside of just your small little world. Probably, I think because people aren't buying them as much, they can access them probably for a lot cheaper than you would buying them paperback. I think that TV's really great and media's great and you can access a lot, but I think that it does take away from your own experience and your own imagination and your opinions, because I think people can push opinions way easier with media than they can with books.
I think books are invaluable. They're a great record of our lives. I hope they stay around forever. I can find my way around much easier in a library than I can on the internet. I think you have more control with the book and with the library rather than if the satellite goes down then you lose everything. You've got a blank screen.
I manage this bookshop, which is E.W. Marchpane Limited, founded in 1989. We specialise in children's books, and I've always had a passion for children's literature. And I did a doctoral thesis at Oxford University about children's books. If we lose books, then we're going to lose part of our culture, part of our heritage, part of our being. They're the foundation of any civilization. And I think that if we lose books, and we're losing so many things in this world. I don't have e-books or anything like that. It's not really my thing. I love the physical object. They're an important new introduction to invention. They're an important new invention, allowing people the possibility of reading lots of novels without actually having to go out and buy the physical object, the book. So it saves a lot of space for a lot of people who don't actually have very much. I mean, everything's shifting, isn't it? Everything moves with time. So as we progress, so technology progresses. But I don't necessarily think that there's the downfall of books. The difference between the printed book and the e-book. I think both have a valid readership and also a valid point in the world still.
Thank you, Lena, for interviewing them. The bookstore keepers were so kind to let us know their thoughts. Most of them believe that books aren't becoming less common, as there are still many people in the world who value them and have a deep passion. I hope books still have the same value and meaning in people's hearts. Thank you for watching.